Welcome to the channel. Today we are diving into a world-changing truth. Artificial intelligence has already changed war forever. From autonomous drones to predictive kill lists, the battlefield is evolving in ways most people aren't prepared for. And here's the shocking part. Some military experts estimate that 60% of people wouldn't survive an AI-driven war. We'll get into exactly why and how that number was calculated. But first, we need to understand how it all began because the story of AI and warfare is darker and far more advanced than you think. Let's rewind just a bit. AI didn't start with missiles or robots. It started with data. In the early 2000s, militaries around the world began using machine learning to analyze intelligence, map threats, and predict insurgencies. But then everything escalated by 2010. The US and other global powers were experimenting with drone warfare, not just remote-controlled vehicles, but ones making decisions based on AI algorithms. Fast forward to today, and we have fully autonomous drones that can identify targets, track movement, and deploy lethal force, all without direct human control. These aren't prototypes. They've been tested in real-world combat zones. The Turkish-made Cargo 2 drone was allegedly used in Libya in 2020, operating autonomously and engaging human targets on its own. That moment quietly marked a terrifying milestone in military history. The first AI may have killed without a human pulling the trigger, and since then, development has only accelerated. China is testing AI-piloted fighter jets. Russia's investing in AI-powered missile defense. The US Pentagon is pouring billions into something called the Joint All-Domain Command and Control, an AI system designed to coordinate air, land, sea, cyber, and space combat simultaneously. Let that sink in. We're talking about multi-domain autonomous warfare where decisions, even life and death ones, are made in milliseconds by algorithms. And that brings us to the real danger. It's not just about faster weapons, it's about humans being completely outpaced and maybe completely removed from the loop. What happens when war becomes a prediction game? And what role do AI-powered surveillance systems already play in determining who lives and who dies? Imagine a war where no bullet has been fired, yet your name ends up on a kill list. This is predictive warfare where AI systems analyze patterns of behavior, location, data, and communication signals to decide whether you're a threat. One US military system known as Project Maven was designed to do exactly this: use machine learning to sift through mountains of drone footage and identify targets of interest. But now newer programs are going even further, predicting where insurgents might gather before it even happens, using AI to forecast attacks before they begin. Sounds efficient, right? Except here's the problem. These systems aren't perfect. They're trained on biased, incomplete, and sometimes incorrect data, which means they can flag the wrong person, and that person might never even know. One wrong GPS ping, one flagged phone call, and the AI labels you an enemy combatant. And once that label is applied, a missile doesn't ask follow-up questions. In 2022, a UN report warned that lethal autonomous systems could be making life and death decisions without sufficient human oversight. And countries are already debating how much control humans should have. The scary part, we might already be out of the loop more often than we realize. Even some military officials admit that as warfare speeds up with drones, satellites, and cyber attacks all happening in real time, the only way to keep up is to let AI take the wheel. But giving that power to a machine raises one chilling question. What if it gets it wrong? What if your life or an entire village depends on how an algorithm interprets a blurry video feed? That's not just collateral damage, that's systematized automated death, and it's already happening. How AI is being used to weaponize misinformation, and why the next war might not be fought with bombs, but with your beliefs. What if you could defeat an entire country without ever firing a shot? That's the promise and the threat of AI-powered psychological warfare. We're talking about deepfakes, fake news, bots, and algorithmically tailored propaganda campaigns, all designed to divide, destabilize, and demoralize from within. And here's the scariest part. It's already working. During recent global conflicts, AI-generated content has been used to mimic the voices and faces of world leaders, create fake battlefield videos to manipulate morale, and flood social media with emotional triggers designed to confuse and enrage. Imagine this scenario. You wake up to a video of your president surrendering. It looks real. It sounds real, even trusted news outlets start sharing it. By the time the truth gets out, the damage is done. Trust has already collapsed, and AI is making this easier, cheaper, and faster than ever. One person with the right tools can destabilize the minds of millions. In fact, one 2023 study found that AI-generated propaganda spreads up to 8 times faster than human-written misinformation, because it's tailor-made based on your likes, fears, and biases. It knows how to trigger you better than your closest friends do. Governments and militaries are already developing counter-AI systems to detect this, but let's be honest. The line between truth and fiction is getting harder to see, and in war, confusion is a weapon in the next phase of warfare. Your mind is the battlefield, and victory doesn't mean taking territory. It means taking control of what people believe. AI doesn't just control the battlefield. It is the battlefield. Let's talk about fully autonomous weapons and why some experts say they're the new nuclear threat. This is where things get terrifyingly real because artificial intelligence isn't just behind the keyboard anymore. It's on the battlefield. We're talking about autonomous drones, robotic tanks, aerial swarm systems that don't just move on their own, they kill on their own. In fact, a UN report confirmed that autonomous weapons were used in combat with no human oversight during the Libyan civil war. The drones were given a mission and they executed it. Literally, no human decision, no second thoughts, just input, target, engage. This raises one of the biggest ethical questions of our time. Should a machine be allowed to decide who lives and who dies? And here's the chilling reality. These machines don't panic. They don't get tired, they don't question orders. They just act faster, more accurately, and more ruthlessly than any human soldier ever could. And if you think this is just about a few fancy drones, think again. Military strategists are working on drone swarms, thousands of flying units all controlled by AI moving like a hive mind, each one capable of surveillance or jamming communications, or delivering a deadly payload, and they're cheap. One expert said, why build one $10 million jet when you can launch 10 million $1,000 drones that never miss? Now, here's the stat that should stop you in your tracks. A 2024 defense simulation found that in a full-scale AI-driven conflict, over 60% of civilians in urban areas would not survive the first 72 hours. Not because of nukes, because of autonomous weapons systems that overwhelm cities before humans could even respond. That's why military experts now call AI weapons the new nuclear, not because of the blast, but because of the irreversible consequences. Next, we'll look at what's being done to prevent AI from escalating future wars, and whether there's any hope for keeping this genie in the bottle. So now the question becomes, can we stop this? Or is it already too late? As AI reshapes modern warfare, global powers are scrambling to build their arsenals, but regulation is lagging far behind. Despite calls from the UN and human rights organizations, there's no global agreement banning autonomous weapons. No Geneva Convention for AI, no real safeguards, just warnings and rising tension. In 2023, over 4,000 AI researchers signed an open letter urging governments to pause development of autonomous kill systems. But those pleas are being ignored or worse, politicized. Because here's the ugly truth. No one wants to be the country that pauses while others keep building. It's the same logic that drove the nuclear arms race. Only this time, it's faster and maybe even more unpredictable. And unlike nukes, AI weapons can be built in secret in a basement with no uranium, just code. This is what experts call the black box problem. AI systems, especially the military-grade kind, often make decisions in ways even their creators don't fully understand. So if something goes wrong, if an AI misidentifies a target or takes preemptive action, there may be no way to intervene in time. And what happens when these systems start communicating with each other? When AI fights AI, will humans even be in the loop? Some countries are starting to push back. The EU has proposed laws to limit lethal autonomous weapons. Campaigns like Stop Killer Robots are gaining traction worldwide. Some militaries are pledging to keep a human in the loop. No fully autonomous kill decisions, but those are policies, not guarantees. And in war, policy often crumbles under pressure. So will AI replace soldiers? Yes, it already is. Will it make wars shorter? Maybe. But it might also make them impossible to control. And the most terrifying part, the moment we truly lose control, we might not even realize it if you've made it this far. Thank you for watching. We're living through one of the most dangerous and least understood technological shifts in history. This isn't just about machines. It's about the future of human conflict and whether humanity will still be the one making the final call. If you found this video thought-provoking, please consider subscribing to Info Caretaker. We dig deep into the realities of AI, emerging tech, and the future they're shaping for better or worse. Drop a comment. Do you think AI will make war less human or more dangerous? Thank you for watching.